purpose of this video tutorial is to demonstrate how to update your Joomla 4.0 website. In order to update your website, you are simply going to enter in your URL /administrator. Once you have done that, you will be brought to the Joomla administrator login. Here you will enter your username and password. Once you have entered the Joomla Content Management System dashboard, you will notice you have a sidebar here with various options. Here in the content section, you will be able to update articles and site modules. And under the menu section, you are able to update your menu items. In this case, here we are looking upon your main menu. You can simply update your menu items here by adding or duplicating menu items. Once you open one of these menu items, you can select which article any particular menu item is pointing to. Before we go further, you should first understand that your Joomla website is built in a grid system, which allows us to program or code any modules to exist in any of these positions. As we scroll down here you can see the page content is where your main article would live, and here is where your sidebar modules would exist. Scrolling all the way down, you can see we have modules existing in the footer section and also an off-screen section for the mobile menu. When we look upon the front end, here you can see this would be the page content, the article content that we're talking about. These other items would be modules or components that we have coded to live into the website. Here you can see the footer. Up towards the top you have the logo and the menu. Again, looking at it on the back end, here you can see logo, menu, other modules. So we're going to jump right into editing articles. Here we could go into the article manager. You can filter them by various categories. Right now we're going to focus on updating your project section. So here we can see we have some of our projects coded in, and they are articles that also link into a gallery. If we look upon these on the front end, you will see that we have them linked into a Minitech wall component so that when we post our content, it will dynamically appear here on this page. So let's get started and create a new article here in our portfolio. So what we're going to do is go into the back end, and we've already sorted them by category, and here we can see already existing articles. A good practice is to simply duplicate an existing article, and how we do that is we're going to open this one, and it says kitchen painting and wallpaper project in Wilmette. Well, we're going to create a new article, and we're going to call it kitchen and cabinet painting project in Gurnee. We're going to simply delete the alias that will be auto-generated. Here we can see we're going to just take this image and we're going to swap it out. We've already prepared a new image. We can simply browse using our word editor to upload our new image. Here we can see Gurnee kitchen painted by local contractor. This image has been formatted to be 1200 by 630 pixels as our dimension. Now I can see when I select it, it's going to replace our image here, though we want it to still remain the 300 pixels that we had it formatted. And here we're going to come in here and say kitchen and cabinet painting project in Gurnee. And this alt text is important for search engine optimization. So when we hit update, you'll see that our picture has been swapped out. So now we want to rewrite this content here to describe our project. So I will quickly do that. If you're painting cabinets, you want to repeat that word, kitchen painting, cabinet painting contractor. You want to talk about removing the hardware on the cabinet and having to reinstall it once the project was completed. So you want to expand on this area as much as you can. So here you can see our article is in motion. We're going to also go in and we can see that there's an image that we have stored in here. We're going to go in and make sure we select the correct image now, because this image is what is going to be shown on the front end of the website here in our little grid. So we're going to remember to hit save as a copy, because we don't want to copy over the other item that we had. And now we can see that there's a couple things left that we have to do. We're going to have to replace the gallery to point at the correct gallery. But something else is our publishing information. Here is the metadata. This is what Google sees. So we also want to be able to put 160 characters of content in here that is relevant to the page title and also the page content. So here we're going to say experts on painting is a local painting contractor who completed this recent kitchen and cabinet painting project in Gurnee, Illinois. We still have 32 characters, so we'll come back in here later and touch that up. Also in the options, this is where we can tell Google what we want to the page to actually be seen by search engines. What we title it on for our website and how we want to view it here in our gallery is something different. So real quick, we're going to take a peek on the front end, and we can see it's published under project. So if I were to just simply come here and hit refresh, we'll now see that we have an additional project here. However, before we want to click on this article to view it, we know that we need to update the gallery that is embedded within. So we're going to go back to your Joomla dashboard, and we're going to go to your components, and we're going to go down to your Ignite gallery. Here we're going to first select the category tab and create a category for this gallery. Gurnee cabinet painting. And we're going to hit save. Once it's saved, we can see Gurnee cabinet painting. Now we're going to come in here and add some images. We are going to browse. Here we can see our images that we have ready to add, upload. And you can see now that these images will be associated with our Gurnee cabinet painting gallery. There they are. We could actually, sort these images if we want and move them around and say, oh, we want this image to be first, etc. So again, that's a little bit about the Ignite gallery component. Oh, one other thing. Let's go back to the category that we created, and let's make sure it's published. So now you can see we have 5 images in our Gurnee cabinet gallery. We're going to go back to our other tab, and here again we can see here's some code. That was the wrong gallery that we saw in on the front end, and we're going to delete that code. And how are we going to know what code to write? Well, we're going to just come down here and use our little button, and that is going to let us select Gurnee cabinet painting. Once I hit save, it inserts the proper code. Now I'll save the article itself. We'll go back to the front end, hit refresh, and now we can see we have the right gallery of images showing. Just a quick summary here again on the article section. I know we were cruising through this pretty quickly, but understand that you have different tabs here. This is the content editor. You have the image section where you can program the image that'll show up in our grid. The options section gives you a chance to put in SEO page title, which is different than what we see here on the front end. We could code additional keywords and phrases here. Going back up here to the top, you have a publishing tab. This is where your meta description lives. This is very important to make sure that you put text content that's in harmony with the page title and with the page content. You also have options for setting publishing dates, starting and finishing if you wish. There's other features here. I recommend clicking through it and becoming familiar with the Joomla content management system. So I'm going to close the article editor section real quick. I know we talked about or touched on modules. This again is your grid system for your website. Here's our page content, but we have all these other places where modules could live. So let's talk about modules real quick. On the front end of the website, we can go to the content tab and browse our site modules. And here you can see where we have other boxes that could live in the grid, if you will. Here we can see the top content section. It's the phone number, the free estimate button. Again, these are things that could live anywhere in this grid. We're going to look at the footer real quick. The footer exists in here. If we wanted to add additional cities, we can do that here. So again, this is the content module section. There are many other modules living in the module section of your website, so feel free to explore. Also, just become familiar with the back end of your Joomla dashboard, knowing that most of your navigation will occur here on the sidebar. Well, that wraps up our basic training for your Joomla 4.0 website.